What was the incident at your high school? Me and 3 of my friends allegedly broke into the pottery classroom at our high school and stole 75 pounds of wet clay. Allegedly we used that clay to make over 200 penises and planted them all over the school. Allegedly. We had a couple. It was rumored that a certain science teacher had taken up with one of the students, so much so that they were featured together in the cutest couple section of our yearbook that year. There was also the time when one male student jokingly held an unplugged drill to another male student's private area while, secretly, another student was plugging in the drill. Poor guy was taken to emerg with a damaged testicle. A girl blew a few guys on our high school varsity football bus on the way home from a game. Not the biggest deal. Apparently she was videotaped. Much bigger deal. Girl turned out okay. We had uniforms. Polo and skirt. And when we changed into our uniform for gym class, about 40 minutes in a girl's skirt was thrown into the toilet. The gym teacher kept us hostage for nearly 2 hours trying to find who did it. The other students turned on each other, friends turned on friends, and we never found out who did it. A few things. 1. A girl and her boyfriend died trying to drive his motorcycle through a telephone pole. 2. A girl got knocked up in the senior hallway by her basketball BF after the team won sectionals. 3. One of the cheerleaders got caught by her dad at a party after the football team had run train on her when she was drunk as frick. 4. The boys swim team skinny dipped after morning practice one day. I can say, don't dive off a 3-meter board nude when you're not a diver. 5. Few highly religious girls ended up knocked up. One got caught by her racist mother sucking off a black dude at a party. Just normal Indiana teenagers doing teenager red. There was a rumor that a girl was caught by security giving the entire basketball team head in the locker room. The rumor went that the guys pulled up their shorts and ran, and she was caught because she was on her knees and covered in evidence. I mentioned this to a female classmate sitting by me, and to my surprise, it wasn't 100% true because she was that girl. Apparently, it was only a few guys from the baseball team, and she wasn't caught. A JROTC kid who didn't put the orange cap on his fake rifle ran up to the front doors of the school because he was late for practice. But all the office staff saw was kid moving fast towards front door with a gun, and we went lockdown really fast. Some more. All of the wrestling team taped the back door to the gym open and snuck a girl in after hers and had a gangbang. It was a few years before I was in high school myself, but I lived in Singapore in the 90s, so the big deal was some kid getting busted for vandalism and getting his ass caned. 3 drunk guys went to the rival high school in the middle of the night and pushed a $65,000 statue down a hill, then took pictures and posted it on Instagram. They, obviously, got caught and weren't able to graduate. My HS was a real den of iniquity with several incidents spread out over a few short years. Teacher caught banging a girl in the locker room. School nurse impregnated by a student. Teacher married a student immediately after she graduated. Students caught freaking in a hotel hot tub during a team outing. Teacher left his wife to marry the school secretary. Also a suicide and a couple of rumored incidents involving teachers and students. Went to a Catholic school. The head of the theology department was caught doing the religious counselor on their shared desk. Was kinda difficult to listen to them speak of celibacy and faithfulness after that. The girl that was selected to be prom queen was caught holding drugs the weekend before prom, so she was removed. The girl who was the runner-up was busted having sex with a basketball player in the locker room in the middle of the week and was removed. It had come out the 3rd place girl was pregnant, so they removed her and finally ended up giving it to the 4th place girl. A couple years back some kid got stuck at a stair railing. Was all over the news. No matter how many years pass, the story doesn't fail to get passed on to the next class. The new male geometry teacher was found to be sleeping with a student. The girl was 18, so it was technically legal, but he still got fired because that's a bad image for the school. The guy barely got there that year and couldn't keep his dick in his pants, and I think it was his first year teaching. The guy was maybe in his mid-20s. This happened 2 years ago. First high school. Kid got drunk at school event. Hit on administrator's wife. Second high school. Probably does not qualify as the incident, but there was a gas leak in the cafeteria, so we had an emergency evacuation for a few hours. Hoo boy. High school had some wild incidents. Some dumbass who considered himself an anarchist and a hacker put a piece of paper with something on it into the dollar slot of a Powerade machine. It slowly overheated and in an hour, it caught fire. A kid told a teacher to watch her back because it was the Ides of March. He got expelled. A cat fight broke out in the cafeteria one day and ended when one girl picked the other one up and slammed her against the wall till she was bloody. A naked man spent a few months of summer living in the school. When I was a junior, our media specialist came to school one morning having transitioned to living as a woman. There were TV cameras everywhere. The teachers all were prepared to discuss it and answer all of our questions, but none of us really had any. Seemed pretty straightforward to me. Call her Ms. Davis from now on. Got it. Now can we talk about last night's homework? I went to a Catholic high school. Several of the girls were pregnant at graduation, including the valedictorian. But that wasn't the incident. That was when the 30-year-old track coach and religion class teacher ran off with a senior from the track team when she turned 18, leaving behind a wife and kids. Apparently, they had been dating for a couple years. At my relatively small high school in the UK, we had a bomb threat. We're all moved to the playing fields in the pouring rain. We all assumed it was a fire until the bomb disposal units pulled up. Turned out to be a hoax call. My school had a few, but this was maybe the most extreme dangerous. Some kid got expelled. One day he came back with some sort of projectile weapon. Some people have said it was something called a petrol rocket. I don't know anything about these things. Anyway, he wants to kill a specific teacher and shoots into their class. He hits the class below. It's a science class. The day before, a student left a gas tap on. The teacher forgot to check that they were off. The room was full of gas, so there was an explosion. No one died, but there were some injuries. One girl had a list of guys she gave head to in bathroom. She was seen with cum on her face a couple of times before she was eventually caught in the act by one of the coaches. Why she made a list, I am not really sure, but there was over 40 names on that list. A guy in my grade was sleeping with a girl who was a senior. We were freshmen. She was looked at like a slut, but a lot of people thought it was cool. She was a PE helper, like she assisted the coach teacher with doing things. I think each coach had a student do this. Forgot the name for it, but it's normal. Then she dumped that guy and started dating another guy in my grade, and apparently she got in trouble. The school found out, but nothing came of it as far as me and my friends knew. Someone called in a bomb threat during final exams and AP testing my junior year. The whole school was evacuated out to the football field where we stood for a few hours. Eventually they let the kids leave who had cars and drove themselves to school. It took a while for the buses to arrive at the end of the day, and a lot of parents were calling to check on their kids. The girl who called in the threat ended up getting arrested. She didn't want to take her exams that day. It's a pretty small town, so everyone freaked out for a bit, and it was one of the few times the town was on the news. In 1999, I believe, a bunch of seniors got fucked up and defaced a veterans memorial in Southeast Texas. I'm talking spray paint and shit everywhere. I think it made national news. Then either a year or two later, my hometown was on CNN for cheerleader hazing. Mine's not high school but military basic training, which for most people is pretty close in age anyway, but I was at Fort Sill in one of the first classes that was reintroducing co-ed basic after a number of years. One night after a field exercise they lined us all up and checked our dog tags, looking soldiers wearing other people's dog tags. It turns out, and I don't remember how exactly it all went down, that a couple of people were caught fricking in the laundry room on our Sunday cleaning laundry day, and they had professed their love for each other and shared dog tags. The whole company did a whole lot of push-ups and other exercises for the last 3 weeks or however long we had left. Not very fun. I have 2 of them. My school has really bad infrastructure. The school's been around since the early 80s, but we've never had maintenance or anything. So in the summer of '07 they replaced the pipes in the bathroom with something else. I don't remember the material, but the urine corroded the pipes, so urine was leaking in the walls as soon as the school year began. The water in it dried up and all that's left was the bright yellow sticky substance in urine, and it stank. The whole building smelled like piss 4 weeks before they did something. To this day though, the pipes regularly burst. BC Dumbersteins shove stuff in them and the hallways smell like shit and drool all the time. Another more recent thing is when two kids got into a fight and one kid slammed the other's head into the ground and the kid was in a coma for a few days. Obviously people filmed it, but the police came and told everyone that if they didn't delete the video and was caught they would be persecuted. IDK what law they threatened with, but it was something to do with withholding evidence. It was on the news and I'm pretty sure one of the kids was arrested.